Welcome back. We've got a pretty huge versus for. I don't think they get bigger than this.
One of the biggest verses of the year.
This is Rock Band Guitar Hero size. All right, we're talking about Resistance 2.
Gears of War 2.
Gears of War 2. These are the shooters that tore us up at E3. We couldn't decide which one we were going to like
Grinded
better.
right through us.
I actually thought that I was going to like Resistance 2 better. Did I?
Did
we'll
you?
Find out.
We're going to find out when.
Right now.
Let's do that.
Graphics, how did they stack up?
Well, Gears of War 2,
Resistance,
yes.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of the bosses in Resistance 2 are amazing.
It's a really good looking game, but I'll tell you what, as big and cool as the bosses are, the environments really disappointed me.
Yeah.
And I, honestly, there were elements of Resistance 2 that I think didn't look as good as the first game. Maybe it was because it was our first PlayStation 3 experience and it kind of opened your mind to this expansive console, you know, the power of that machine.
But you figure,
I expected so much out of Resistance 2.
Especially with 2 years in between both games. I expected...
And it doesn't look bad.
It doesn't look bad at all, but compared to Gears, which is...
Or compared to Call of Duty last year, Resistance 2 doesn't look bad, and there's an epic kind of scope to the game in terms of bosses.
Your character looks good.
Yes.
The start screen is just your character looking badass.
Yeah. But Gears 2, absolutely heartbreakingly beautiful.
It lights the Molotov, throws it in Resistance face, and explodes.
It's unbelievable.
Sorry.
It is such a gorgeous game.
Better than you.
The snow falling down in the mountains.
The razor hail.
The razor hail. The color red is going to be a color that you're going to enjoy.
You're going to love it.
Many times in this beautiful looking game. Okay, graphics, Gears 2.
Gears 2.
Audio, we have, I think, these really well fleshed out voices and these characters in Gears 2. One of the little tricks that they put in there that I totally freaking loved was as you get some distance between your characters, it switches to kind of a crackle and it's coming inside of your headset.
It's harder to hear where the guy's at.
Resistance, I couldn't tell who the hell was talking. I didn't know if it was Nathan Hale. I didn't have any connection at all to the characters at all in that game.
Honestly,
they're all like the red shirts from Star Trek. No, it really feels like the Gears guys are like you've been allowed to join this kick-ass football squad that goes off and kills all.
Baby, former football. Woo!
And I love it. I love the sense of camaraderie and the comical lines that they get to say and
the lines. I mean, they're cheesy.
Yeah.
But they're so good. Like Coltrane, got to be one of my favorite characters in video games this year.
And even the kick-ass, anthemic, orchestral, bombastic score of Gears is better than the kind of wallpapery Resistance 2 music.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really drag me into the experience.
So audio to Gears as well.
I'm gonna go right there.
Gameplay. Most important part.
Most important part. Guess who wins this?
Third person versus first person. So obviously they're different. One's got all about the cover mechanic, which we know. We talked about that in the last versus we did with these two. And it's a different style of game, but this is Sony's big gun against Microsoft's big gun.
And Microsoft's big gun has a chainsaw attached to it.
Yes, it does. The multiplayer, obviously, in Resistance 2 is incredible.
Here's my problem.
But there's some issues.
Here's my issue with this.
Yeah.
I'm online with my friends.
Yeah.
First off, the PlayStation headsets things, if you don't have one, you're kind of screwed. So we're all on Skype. And then we had a couple guys join. We'll send them an invite. Oh, I can't seem to join your game. Okay, it says no, I can't get onto it. Maybe it's just connection. Try to get a couple of them. Same problem.
Really?
Can't seem to get online with the game.
Yeah.
Once you get the 8-player co-op actually going, it's kind of fun. Like you get into it, it's addicting. You're just like, oh damn, there's all these guys coming.
But it's not the single-player story. Now, Gears, you have most of the same kinds of multiplayer options that you had from last year.
If you bought the game, it comes with all the downloadable levels from the first game.
And describe Horde. Horde is basically you against...
It's you, 4. I mean, you can have up to 5. You don't need 5. You can do it with,
mode.
Yeah, it's survival mode, but it's up to 50 levels. Every 10 levels, it gets harder from 1 to 10, and then it starts over, but the guys have more health, and they're more powerful. And it's just controlled chaos to the point of awesome, just radtaculousness. Radtaculousness.
So we both give Gears the winner. What are you going to give Gears of War 2?
10 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 9.5. And what are you going to give Resistance 2?
8 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 9. So there you go, the big shooter matchup of the year. We both like Gears better.
I love me some Gears.
Gears 2 is an amazing game.
Freaking amazing. You can find me online. We'll play Horde mode, 50 levels. We'll just do it.
That's where he's going to be right after this.
I got to go.
Resistance 2 is a great game as well.
It is
Don't
good,
think it isn't.
But play Gears if you got a 3-circuit.
Got it. Today on the show, Jose and I took a look at Monster Lab. We always love original IP for the Wii and dig the Tim Burton-esque imaginative design, but there are some cumbersome controls and not too many people playing online. Alone in the Dark Inferno. This game definitely has some cool design elements, and some of the control issues have been resolved, but it's still not the standout survival horror experience it should have been in the first place. And what was up with the crappy-looking cutscene video clips? Destroy All Humans, Path of the Furon. The idea of being an alien wreaking havoc on Earth will always be cool, but this game is atrociously bad and tarnishes the good memories of this franchise forever. In Versus, we took a look at Resistance 2. We love the expansive offering of gameplay modes, and the epic scope of the game is great, but the story doesn't hook us as much as Gears 2, and the online multiplayer, while terrific, just isn't quite as addictive. We looked at that one against Gears of War 2. Visually, this is one of the best looking games we've ever played. The story is a blast, and multiplayer gameplay is sensational, but the killer ride definitely does feel familiar. In the end, Gears of War 2 wins our Versus and is the Rogers Video Game of the Week.